Hi and hello, watch friends, and welcome to another edition of the Real Time Show. I'm your friendly neighborhood Judah Alom Joseph. Together with our friendly neighborhood watchmaker Rob Nuts, we're sitting here with a long time friend and dear friend, Pascal Ravessoud, Vice President of FHH. He's co-managing the Fondation Horlogerie, and he is a watch nerd pur sang. He is promoting, his literal job is to promote the métier d'art de horlogerie. And you're doing a terrific job, if I may say so, Pascal. Besides that, we ping each other privately. I see you on all my socials around the world. So tell us, what are you doing these days? Because I see FHH everywhere, events, academy. So update us, please.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Hi, Rob. Hi, Alan. It's a pleasure to be here today. Many people say so, and we're very happy about that. As you might know, Fondation Haute Horlogerie was created like 20 years ago, so we're celebrating the 20th anniversary this year. It was the organizer of the SIHH for a long time, where before the two entities split, you know that since 2023, there is a Watches and Wonders Geneva Foundation organizing the Watches and Wonders show, and the FHH continues with its original mission of spreading the good word and trying to increase the knowledge and make people understand the value of the watches to the widest possible audience. That's basically what we do. And yes, I'm pretty happy to do that because myself, I've been versed into watches when I was a teenager through the Swatch phenomenon, and I was one of the first collectors before the internet. It was a bit I felt lonely, but now much less so. And so, yeah, FHH since 2023 is like the 2.0 version, where together with my friend and colleague Aurélie, we are trying to be as present as possible to explain to not only, but also to a new generation of watch aficionados what they should buy, why does it make sense? Why does a totally disconnected object in a totally connected world make sense? And what makes the value of everything that's inside, that's behind the whole DNA, the history, the craftsmanship and everything. So we have three areas of expertise, one that we call watches and culture. We have a pretty active, young-oriented Instagram account called Watches and Culture, where we have now 30K followers. So it's a pretty decent following, and it's managed by a couple of people from our team that are really, in the younger side of the collecting side, and they're trying to bring more people aboard by speaking a little bit differently. So we want to have a more fun, a more relaxed approach, and that's probably needed because what we hear that about all the newcomers in the watch scene, the 18 to 30, 35-year-olds that afflued massively in the last few years. They need to be spoken to a bit differently. They don't have the same codes as the old chaps and the very traditional approach of watchmaking. So we do that. So this is Watches and Culture, basically watchmaking for dummies. Everything you want to know, should know about watchmaking from a credible and non-commercial source, you can get it from us through our website, also hautehorlogerie.org, which is really a reference site.
So this is amazing. While we sit in the glass igloo and I'm listening to you, I waved at the godfather of watch collecting and culture, Goldberger, Auro. Look, Auro is standing there.
He's here.
And this is amazing. So for our dear listeners that don't know what you refer to with culture, I mean, us nerds in the community, we take it as granted. But what is it that you guys mean by that? What is that culture?
I think it's a whole world. It's a small world by itself where tradition meets innovation in a way that has no comparison in the luxury environment. Because if you look at the mechanical watch movement, I mean, the heart of the mechanical movement is the same for more than 300 years. Though it has been perfected and innovations have come across and materials have changed and few iterations have come, but still the heart is still the same. And I think the spirit is still the same. And around that, the Watch Valley, so basically the Switzerland around the Jura Arc, Geneva, Schaffhausen, and some areas like that, they've developed a whole area. It's really the Watch Valley, and you can really compare it to the Silicon Valley, where the environment is one and only. I mean, recreating those pockets of savoir-faire that is very specific. There are actually hundreds of jobs that compose a watch that can go in any direction, from technology, from material research, from watchmaking itself, micromechanic, artistry, métier d'art, etc. It's unique, and so this culture is unique as well.
You know, it's very interesting you touch upon the savoir-faire that is so essential to watchmaking and the diversity of skill sets that's needed to bring a watch to fruition. In the last, 10, 20 years maybe, there was this real push by certainly major brands to bring everything in-house, to be seen to be doing it all alone. And that became a calling card for quality or luxury or independence. But of course, what we are trying to communicate now is a very old reality in the watchmaking industry, that this is not something someone can do alone. Very few people, one or two masters in the history of watchmaking, have been able to build a watch from start to finish. Mm-hmm. So many specialized trades. And although the assumption was over the last couple of decades that doing it alone was a greater thing, so many human stories were lost in that process because we weren't focusing on the incredible complexity and the necessary collaboration. So breaking apart that system again, pulling back the curtain and showing people exactly how many fascinating trades there are that go into this is incredible. I mean, jewel making seems like a simple thing. Every watch has jewels, but very few people can do it well. Creating a good sapphire crystal, not easy. A watchmaker never learns to do that at the bench, I know that. What is it for you that you enjoy so much personally, being able to show these things to the world in a new light?
Actually, a lot of people have this image of the old watchmaker with the white blues in front of the snow, making everything by its own. And if you visit any kind of modern manufacturer, you already clearly realize it's not the case. Yet historically, I mean, the first watchmakers in the 15th, 16th century, they were doing everything by themselves, but it quickly spread and specialized due to, the établisseur in the 18th century, and then this myth of the horloger paysan. So, the cold month of winter in the Jura Arc, where the peasants were actually out of work, and they actually take on some specialized job for the établisseur so they can finish the watch. So this specialization of work existed already from the 18th century. Yet, since the globalization of luxury in the beginning of the 21st century, they wanted to make it again all verticalized. But it's an illusion, of course, because there are so many different skills needed and specific jobs that needs to be perfected, that you need a specialist to do it. Does it make sense to include it in your manufacture? Usually not, because there's no financial reality to it. Because if maybe for one collection or one reference you need that specific skill, you will never be able anyway to have 100% of the skills in-house. That doesn't make any sense. And I think this is what makes also the reality of watchmaking today, is this vast array, this network, this net of specificities and specific crafts. Some of them don't have a school to be taught anymore. They are taught from the master to the pupil. And this is crazy if you think about it. It's an immense skill network that probably doesn't exist elsewhere and needs to be maintained and needs to be talked about. Because for me, when I'm visiting any kind of workshop, be it in a manufacturer or a specific subcontractor, you see that these guys first are very skilled. Two, they are passionate. And they form the whole magma of watchmaking that needs to be preserved.
It's very interesting that you should say that, because to take the example you were giving there of an established manufacturer thinking, oh, maybe we can make this one component ourselves for this one specific watch that we want to make, rather than outsourcing a professional, reminds me of something Alon and I have been saying this week about an agency that we founded recently, 360watch.agency. And one of our little taglines, which is very generic and very cliched, but also true, especially in this context, is if you think hiring a professional is expensive, try hiring an amateur. You cannot make up for those years and years of experience that these, like you say, people that learn at the knees of craftspeople, not in schools, hand-given skills from generations prior. It's an invaluable resource that has to be protected at all costs. And I think when it comes to the storytelling, the shift we're seeing now, where we're now able to open the doors and say, yes, we work with these professionals. Yes, this is their story. It humanizes the whole process and it builds the collaborative aspect of watchmaking, which feels more like a community. Now, it requires humility from brands, which is something that was lacking maybe in recent times, but now they're embracing that. They're not only finding all these new stories they can tell, but they're becoming more emotionally accessible to the audience who themselves are a community that drives watchmaking forward. So what do you do in your role in the FHH to access these communities around the globe and to excite them and to engage them with these skills?
I think part of the job of the FHH is actually really to make people understand all this diversity, this human side of things, this, the importance of the hand, because everything has been industrialized one way or another, but still at the end, the very skilled finishing are only be able to be done by hand. We try to engage with communities around the globe. We're starting this process because, again, we're reformed 2 years ago. And so, for example, we had an event 3 weeks ago in London in a series that we call A Talk With. And we had 3 female collectors that we had a speakeasy in downtown London, like a hidden place with 50, 60 people from the watch community. Some of them didn't attend a watch event before because it's very posh kind of things, champagne, invited by brands, etc. And we want to really break the mold and access the watchmaking through passion. And that is the passion that reunites everyone in the watch industry and in the watch collector scene. And so we had these 3 ladies that came from different backgrounds that explained how they went into watchmaking. It was truly inspiring and they had a very different story, but yet they connected through watch passion. And this is what we try to unveil, is to have these people, the passionate people that have their story to tell, and they exchange and they build up this watch community. Actually.
It's actually very interesting because I'm very happy to hear this. Both Rob and I are volunteers to the Red Bar network community. It's not an organization, it's volunteer-based, and it emphasizes independence. But it actually dawned on me when you just said that most of your guests have never attended these events because there are luckily a lot of them out there, but hardly any are objective. Could we say that you guys are basically doing these events to further the culture and the art of watchmaking, but it's basically a platform and a podium, but not with a hidden commercial agenda?
No, we are a 100% non-profit foundation. We're basically very easy. We have we have around 40 partner brands that help us develop all the contents we do. But it's a minor part of our revenue. Our revenue is mainly driven by our training programs and certification program, and also the content that we can provide to the events. For example, here at Watches and Wonders, we are doing all the auditorium program during the weekend. We don't appear, but we actually are doing and preparing all the content. We are active also at Geneva Watch Days, in Argenta, Munich, etc., etc. So this is the kind of thing that we do on a more, let's say, industry level thing. But these kind of small events like London, we're going to have a big one in New York in October to celebrate our 20th anniversary. But we bring final clients and consumers, and we see that you see that the numbers of the watch industry exports, we sell less and less watches, more and more expensive, but it's not selling to the younger generation. So now I think we really have an objective to take the new generation on board and make them understand what makes the beauty and the magic of watches.
It is thrilling to hear you say that because, we visited many events in recent months and years, and we've seen the same demographic present at these events.
Yeah.
And we know that there are watch fans that exist outside of this demographic, but they're maybe not being spoken to in the right way or given the opportunity or the comfort level that they need to attend one of these events. It can seem quite conservative and standoffish. So thank you for the work that you're doing, the good work, the missionaries of watchmaking, spreading the good word.
Right. Thank you.
And for our dear listeners that want to plug into that world or attend your events and or actually do a academy module, where do they need to go to?
First place, our website, horlogerie.org. You will find all our academy programs. You can please register to our newsletter. That's the best way to be in touch. Everything is free. Of course, not our training modules, because we need to survive in this crazy world. Although we are non-commercial, I mean, we still need to function. And once you come to one of our events, you will understand the spirit. And really, the spirit is about, spreading the good word, spreading the passion, and connect through the watches.